Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. If you are new to the channel, just subscribe my channel and start watching. So today's session we will be looking further from the where we have left in the last session. So basically I will be briefing you about the last session. Last session we have done the rack one is like a node one creation on VirtualBox. So basically in last session we have done the installation of Linux on VirtualBox, and we have created one of the uh, node that is called rack one. So we are now moving further with certain configuration in a network file and some prerequisite for Oracle rack installation, and then we will be creating an rack 2, that is a node 2 for the rack installation. Okay, so before moving further, I will be requesting, if you haven't watched my previous videos, you can go to my channel and watch all the sessions. Okay, so basically I have uploaded all these videos over there. You can watch one by one. Okay, and make sure you subscribe my channel. So let's begin further. In today's session we'll be looking at installation of node 2, as well as then we'll move further to the actual Oracle rack installation of 2 node. Okay, so we'll look at the documents. So now we'll be doing the installing the guest additions. So basically, what is the use of guest addition? Guest addition are optionally but highly recommended, and it allows better integration of mouse and clipboard for the bidirectional users. Okay, so we'll be installing that one. So just to go to the this thing, your VirtualBox. First we have started and it is in running mode. Okay, once it is in running mode, then you have to do what? Go to the devices, click on, 1 second, let me just unlock this one, otherwise it will go to the devices, and here you have to click on insert guest addition CD. Okay, now it will ask you for to run this one. So let's go to the prompt and click on run. It will start running in the background. It will do certain changes in the system, and once it is finished, then we will do one reboot of the system, and then it will be finished. Okay, so it is building some modules for kernels, and so basically it is for the better interface of, because as you can see, this is a very small interface that we are getting. So once the guest addition will be done, then you can do the full screen of your entire VirtualBox nodes. Okay, so let it finish, then we'll move further. So basically our aim is to do the Oracle 19C rack installation of 2 node setup. So basically we are in the process of prerequisites, that will be like OS prerequisites. So we have installed Linux operating system 7.8 on VirtualBox, and so we have created one of the host, one of the node, and then later we will be doing the node 2 creation by using the cloning method, and then when it is finished, then we'll start the actual Oracle software installation and further processes. Okay, so we will be looking each and every aspect. Finally it is completed. So what we'll do, open the terminal, and we'll be running init6 for rebooting the operating system. Once it is completed, then we can do the full screen of your system. So basically we are completed with this step, install the guest addition in node 1. Okay, so node 2, basically when we'll be doing the cloning, it will automatically reflect it on the rack 2 node. Okay, so don't worry about rack 2. Now we'll do the install system Linux prerequisites for Oracle 19C installation. There is one package called Oracle database pre-installed 19C x8664. Once you will install this package, automatically install all the related packages which is missing on the servers. Okay, so we'll do one by one, but before going further, I will show you something there. It will hardly take 1 or 2 minutes. Let it finish. So it is reboot is completed. Now we'll click on the root user. Just go to the application, then system tool. Let me just search where it is. System setting, then again click on the settings. Here you will find something called devices, and here in resolution you will have to change the resolution. So basically I will be choosing something 1000x7. Keep the changes. So guys, we have done the resolution, and now we can see a full screen window for rack 1. Okay, so what we'll doing further is we have to run certain prerequisite commands and OS prerequisites. So before going further, we'll be just increasing the font for this terminal. Let me just increase the font size. So we'll increase the font to 14 at least. Okay, now we will selecting this one. Just close this one. Okay, now we'll cross verify the version. Okay, so we'll run this command called cat etc/red hat release. Okay, so we can see it is Red Hat Enterprise Linux Server 7.8. Okay, now we'll go back to our original document. Here we will be looking at what we have to do further. So here it is mentioned that install the system Linux prerequisites. So there is a command called yum update -voice. So basically it will update all the software, but we will not doing that one. We'll be installing only Oracle prerequisite. Okay, so you have to go to the terminal and paste the command. It will do the installation, and it is showing me some error. Just we have to pull that terminal first. L-9. Now it will initiate the installation of this thing packages which is missing for 19C pre-upgrade. Okay, so what it will do Oracle 19C prerequisites. So it will basically create all the users, and there will be certain packages or which is missing. It will install those packages also, and in the background it will change the certain configuration also. So we'll look at later. So basically we are doing only the OS level prerequisites for your installation process of. Okay, so this is finished. Now we can verify whether user Oracle exists. Yes, Oracle user is created by using this command. Okay, now we'll be doing the yum install Oracle ASM support. So basically this command will be used. Oracle ASM support. Okay, so it will download the ASM related binaries and do the installation. So this is also over. Now we will be moving to the further install bind-y. Now we'll run sys ctl-p. So it will list out all the kernel related parameters and its changes. Okay, it will basically doing the reflection of kernel parameter changes that we have done through the that Oracle ASM binaries that we have installed earlier. So it is doing what? It is reflecting those kernel parameter changes. So we can see these parameters are set. So these are the prerequisite check for Oracle rack installation software. Okay, so this is also done. So we have done the system Linux prerequisites. Now we'll be doing some OS level prerequisites. So basically we have to cat etc hosts file we will be checking. So there are only two entries, that is a default one. So we'll have to edit this file. Okay, go to the end of this files line and then we have to paste out. Basically this is not copying anything. Let me just as we can see, the IP address for this machine is 192.168.0.187. Okay, so we'll be using this application called MobiX Stream. So we'll be logging into the system. So from here we can provide the root password. Using the MobiX, we have basically login, and now what I will do is I will start doing the changes from here. Okay, so we'll be adding the so basically in this step what we are doing is we are doing the OS level prerequisites, which includes user creation, that is already done, and network and system level changes. So network level changes, what you have to do is under the file called etc_host, in this file we have to make these entries. So basically these entries are private IPs, public IP, virtual IP, and scan IP. So private IP basically used for intercommunication between the nodes. So your rack 1 and rack 2 nodes will be communicating through the private IPs. Then there will be a public IP address that will be used for rack, or you can say node level communication. So whenever there is a local listener will be there. So if a user wants to only connect to the node 1, so what he will do, he will use the public IP addresses under the connect string, and using that IP address he can connect only to specific nodes. So that is a one case. The next one is a virtual IPs. Virtual IPs is basically used for failover cases. So suppose your one of the nodes is getting down, so automatically it will fail over to the other nodes. Next comes is scan IP. Scan IP basically used when for the something called application continuity purpose. So end user will will not be worried about connection string. So basically he will be given this rack scan connect string as a connection string. So you don't have to worried about the what is the node he is getting into connected into. So using the rack basically will be sorry, using the scan name, we are overcoming the issues of connectivities like connection string management for the end user. So okay, so basically we have to make these entries into the etc host file. So what I will do, I will just cat it out the etc host files. Okay, now we will be going into the addition of these entries into the host file. Okay, go to the shift G, shift A, just paste these entries. This is over. You can cross verify using the cat host. Sorry, I haven't saved that file. Sorry. Using the WQ, you can save this one. And we just cross verify. So entries are there. Okay. Next, what we have to do is we have to create certain user groups. So basically, using that these commands, we will be creating those users. So one by one, I will be creating users. Okay. Next one is your group addition. Sys ops, sys DBA, ASM DBA. Okay, ASM admin. So this user will be created. Now what you have to do, you have to modify the users by passing these new groups. Okay, now you have to create password for the Oracle users. So using the passwd command, you have to create the password for the users. So keeping the password very simple as so that I can remember these passwords. Okay, so password creation is also done. Now we have to do this path creation. Okay, mkdir-p, using the -p will recursively create the one for the grid software installation, one for Oracle racks of software. Then we'll modify the permission of these file directories. Okay, so I will just copy these commands and paste it out on this one. If you want, you can just list this path, whether it is these files are created or not. Okay. Sorry. Where is it? /u01. So these files are created. These directories are created. Now what I will do, I have to modify the bash profile. Okay. Just go to this. So we have to log in through the Oracle user. Click on /Oracle. Cat out the .bash profile. Sorry. Just click on cat_bash_ profile. So every user has its bash profile. We have to modify the bash profile by passing on certain entries. So I will copy the entire content from this location. I will not use the temp. Basically, temp automatically it will be provided to the users. vi.bash_profile. We go to the end of this file, and then again I will paste the entries. Now I will save this one. Under the same directory, you have to create two different files. One is called grid inv, second one is called db.env. Okay, so in the first entry, what we'll do is we'll be passing this one. One second, export the ASM SIDs, and subsequently I will pass the grid home path and everything. Okay, just save this file using the WQ, and next we have to create the db.env. So basically we are doing the prerequisite, so you don't have to worry every time you have to load this environment variables. Okay, so we'll be keeping the Oracle SID as a rack db1 for node 1. We'll modify for node 2 also. Just go to the insert mode. Okay, so this is done. Next is we'll stop the firewall. Oh, sorry, I'm not using the root users. So go to the root users, stop the firewall. We have done this part. We have to do certain NTP configuration. So we have done this one. Now the next part is clone the virtual machines. Okay, so we have completed the prerequisite for the node 1. Now we have to make the changes for node 2 also. So we have to shut down the virtual machine, and then we have to go to these tabs and do the changes. So I will come to this machine. Okay, just stop this machine. This is done. Now I will go to the tab and check the instructions first. Shut down the VM, that is we have already done. Then in the VirtualBox Manager window, start clone wizard and main menu machine clone. Okay, so we go to the machine. There is something called clone, right? This is what we have to choose. In the main menu, go to the machine, then clone, type the rack2. Clone, type the name as a rack2. Okay, so we'll be using this path as okay. Next one is make sure reinitialize all the Macs. Okay, and click the next, keep full cloning. Okay, click on full clone. We have to click on full clone, and once it is done, so let it start. So basically it will take certain time. Let it finish, and meanwhile I will be taking pause here. Once it is finished, I will show what we have to do next. Okay, so as we can see, rack2 is cloning has been completed, and rack2 is created over here. So first we'll verify all the parameters that is defined in this, as its name is rack2, 64-bit and 4 GB of RAM has been allocated. And then you can see the naming convention is given as a rack2.vhd. 60 GB of spaces is also there. 3 network adapter is there. Okay, so everything is completed. Now we will follow up the further instruction and do the changes. So start the cloned VM, that is rack2, and log into the root users and make the certain changes in the configuration. Okay, so I'll start this rack2, and then we'll follow up the further instructions. It is getting initiated. So basically we have to modify the network IPs, and then we have to change the we have to log into the root user, click on our password we have to provide, and once it is done, log into the terminal. We'll open the terminal. So basically we can see the host name as a rack1. So our first target will be changing the host name. Okay, so what I will follow is there is some commands nms CLI, the general, then host name. So it will print out the host name. Okay. Try to copy that command, paste it out here. So it is throwing you the host name information. Okay. So change using this command. Okay. Again, we'll fire the command. It is showing you the change name as a rack2. But for the permanent changes, you have to run this command restart option. Okay. So this is also completed. We'll check the IP address information. What is the current configuration for the IP addresses? So we can see the IP addresses is allocated. This is for connecting from outside. So through this mobile extreme, you can connect through using this IP. Okay, and basically we have to modify network configuration. So we go to the wired setting. There is a small correction that we have to do because the IP addresses that we have given that we need to modify. Okay, so we'll go to the network setting, click on IPv4. Here we have given IP address 192.168.10.1. So we have to modify this IP addresses to 10.2. Okay, so we'll modify this IP address 10.2. Then click on apply, click on start. Similarly, we have to modify this one also. Here we have to give it the IP address 72. Click on apply, just click on start. Okay, so these two IPs are reflecting now. Okay. So what we'll do, we'll restart this machine once again. So these changes are done. We'll restart and again we'll start the node 1 also, and then try to ping both the nodes from each nodes and see if they are reachable or not. Okay, so at this junction we are ready with 2 separate nodes, and our next target will be creating the ASM disk. So that shared disk will be used for storage purpose. So we will have one node as a rack 1, other node will be rack 2. So they will be communicating to the storage, common storage that we will be creating now in the next step. Okay, so basically we have started both the nodes. Okay, so rack 1 is running here and rack 2 is running here. So first of all, your network should be, all the network should be connected state. Okay, once it is connected state on both the nodes, now we will be checking the connectivity between the nodes. Okay, so whether these nodes are reachable or not. So first of all, just check the host names, then you have to just do the ping rack 1 from the rack 2. So rack 1 is pingable. From the self node, you can just cross check whether it is reachable. Yeah, it is reachable. Then you have to do rack 2 private IP, whether it is reachable. Yes, it is reachable. Again, you have to do the same thing on the other node also. So we are basically doing from the node 2. So all the packets are getting delivered. That means there is properly communication is happening between the nodes. Similarly, we will be checking from the node 1 also. Here we will just check the host name. What is the current host name? Yeah, it is. Then ping rack 1, rack 2. Yes, all the 64 bits are getting delivered. Then private IPs. Try to ping self private IP also. So at this junction, we are very good ready with both the nodes. Both the nodes are reachable. And our next target will be creating a shared storage. For that, we have to start this process, create a shared disk. But before doing that, we have to shut down both the virtual machines. Okay, so we'll shut down both the machines by running the init 0 command. Okay. So we are stopping both the machines. Once it is stopped, then we'll go to the Oracle VirtualBox Manager. Here we have to go to the, we need to create a new virtual disk and change its attribute to the shareable and add to the both the VMs. Okay. Add hard disk. So we'll click on this one, click on setting, click on storage, click on controller. Choose the VDI wizard, click virtual disk creation, fixed size we have to create. Fixed size will be creating around 88 GB 3. So we'll provide the naming convention as rack 1, sorry, ASM 1. Click on save. Provide the size as 10 GB. Click on create. It will take a little bit time. So similarly, we have to create 2 more disks. Okay. Then we have to change the property to the shareable and attach to the node 2. So basically, we are creating it from the node 1. So we have to attach it to the node 2 also. So let this one finish. Then I will create 2 more disks, and then we'll be doing the further process. So at this stage, we have created 3 different virtual hard disks, and one is 10 GB, second one is 12 GB, third one is 8 GB. Okay. So what we have to do is we have to attach this one to the each nodes, but before that we have to make it shareable so that it will be accessible from the both the nodes. So basically, I have attached just by clicking on this link and by selecting each one of them. Okay, just click OK. Now we have to go to the virtual media manager. Here we have to change the property for these ASM disks from normal to the shareable. Just click on apply. Third one is also we have to do to the shareable. Okay, click on close. So it is attached to the node 1 already attached. For node 2, we have to go to the setting. Under the setting, you have to go to the storage option. Here you have to click on attach, and then by selecting each one of them one by one, you will be attaching on all the disks. Okay, just click OK. So both these 3 ASM disks are reflecting and it is shareable mode. Okay, here also it is shareable. That means it is accessing from both the nodes. Next thing we have to do is start either one of the machines and log in, and then we have to make certain changes in using the fdisk commands. So basically we will be formatting all the disks one by one. Then there will be a naming convention that we have to give to this disk. Okay, so just I'm taking 1 second. I will start it further. Just wait for a minute. So now we have started the node 1, and now we'll follow the instructions. So what it has mentioned, start either one of the machine, log into the root users, and then issue the following commands. So using this utility called MobiX. So using this MobiX stream, I will be logging to the node 1 through the root users. Okay, just click on hostname. Now we have to do is run this command ls-dev. So it will list out all the devices that we have added. So these devices SDB, SDBC, SDB, these are the 3 new devices it is found in the system. So what we have to do using the fdisk commands, we have to format this disk, and using the following options we have to click on the further instructions. So basically we'll click on NP1, and for new, P for primary. Then we have to click on 1, click on return. So at the end you have to type W for writing the changes. Okay, again now you can see that this device is renamed as SDB1, that means it is formatted. So next we have to do the same thing for SDBC. Now click on new, click on P, click on 1, enter W. So this is also written SDC1. Okay, next you have to do for SDD. So click on new, then P for primarily, then 1, enter W. So all these changes are done. These devices are just formatted and these can be accessible. Now next target will be configuring the Oracle ASM on both the nodes as a root users. So first of all we have to run this command Oracle ASM config -i. So it will be asking me the honor for the drive interface, default user to on the driver interface. So it will be grid, and group will be O installed. But in our case it will be Oracle users. So I need to cancel this one. See again. So Oracle will be your primary users. Group will be O installed. Start Oracle ASM library driver on boot. Yes. Scan for the Oracle ASM disk on boot. Yes. So this is done. Now we will be doing the Oracle ASM initialization using this command. This is done. Now we will be creating one of the disk using the SDB1 device. Okay. So it will be named as disk 1. Now we'll click on scanning of the disk. So it will scan the disk is successfully scanning the disk. Next one is your listing out the disk using the list disk command. So disk 1 is accessible. Now we have to do the similar changes on the node 2 also, but there we don't have to create the disk again. Basically we have to just scan this thing on. Before that we have to configure the Oracle ASM. Okay, we'll just start the node 2 machine and try to access the disk. So basically we have started the node 2 also. So using the MobileX we will be accessing this server, logging to the root user. Okay, and just check the host name again. Host name. In this case we have to just run the initial Oracle configuration command, Oracle ASM config -i. So who will be the primary owner? Oracle user. Who installed will be the group name. Then on the boot it will be reading. Yes, this is done. Next one is you have to initialize this. Is initialized. Now what you have to do is just scan the disk and then list the disk. We don't have to recreate the disk. Okay, so this is done. Now you have to list out the disk which is there. So from the node 2 you are able to access the disk 1, and from the node 1 also you are able to access the shared disk 1. Okay, so for the initial purpose we have just created one disk. There are two raw devices like ASM2, ASM3 that we have already created is available. Using the ASMCA utility will be later using that those disk also for further disk creation. Okay, so for initial purpose we have just created a disk 1 which is accessible from both the nodes. Okay, so we are done with the prerequisites. Now we will be initiating with the Oracle RAC installation. So we have already downloaded the grid software and kept it on the local system, and we have shared those with the nodes. So let me just check whether the shared drive is available or not. We'll log into the RAC one. There is option called shared folder setting. Okay, so inside that you have to provide the software. So I just provided the software location there. So I guess this is accessible. Let me just recheck. df-h if you run, then it is there. Media software is there. Okay, paste it out. Sorry, first you have to copy and then paste. List out this software. So basically this is Linux 19C grid and DB home. Okay, this software is available. So what we'll do, we'll copy one by one. Okay, so initial I will be just copying the grid software and the location u01 slash software. Sorry, software is not there, so I will just copy it to the slash u01 mount point. Okay, later we'll modify the permissions and everything. So it is getting copy. Meanwhile we let the copy finish, then we'll discuss further. So guys, this software is copied to u01 mount point. So what I will do, I will create one directory called software mkdir software. Okay, so I will move this software path. Okay, so here we have this folder called software. So basically I will change the permission as well as authentication to the users. Okay, so I will modify the permission. First of all, we'll change the ownership of this file using -p option. Okay, then again we'll modify the permission to 775 for software. Okay, so small page there. Just cross verify the permission, go to the software location, just here it is. So basically your software is ready for the installation. Okay, you have just copied the software to the your software directories, and now what we will do, we'll follow the further instructions. So copy and downloaded great software to the local mount point U01, and we have to do the unzipping. So what I will do, I will unzip this file using the Oracle user. So yes, you have Oracle. So basically in our case, Grid and Oracle, both the users are so here at this point the software is ready. We just will go to the U01 location under the software directory. So we'll unzip this file. Okay, it will take a little bit of time. Once it is finished, then we'll initiate the further process of doing the installation. There are 2 or 3 prerequisites still left. Basically, one is SSH passwordless configuration for the node interconnectivity without password. That is called passwordless SSH configuration. We'll do that one, and then we'll move further with the installation process. Okay. We have to run the cluster verification utility. So that is another step before final installation process. So basically 2 steps are left. Let the unzipping finished, and then we'll move further. Okay, there is small correction that we need to do. I just forgotten that part, so I just remember it now. What we have to do is we have to change the environment variables. Log into the terminal. Oracle. Okay, here cat dot bash underscore profile. Okay, so basically we have to just modify this bash profile. Sorry. So here you have to just change the Oracle SID to rack db2. Oh, sorry. This is one thing that we need to do. Now under the db, and here also we have to modify export sid to rack db2. This is one thing. Another one is grade inv. At this point we have to do this. Since it will be node 2, so basically we have to modify these parameters. Okay, so this is done. So we are good to go with installation process. Just make sure your U01 has sufficient space. Here 38 GB is available. So we are also, after unzipping the software, it is 30 GB is left. So we'll read the document and move ahead. Okay, so we have to create the passwordless SSH configuration. So basically we will go to the U01 software location. Here with ls-lrt, give the ls-lrt, remove this software zip file. It will just take the unnecessary space. Go to SSH. SSH user setup is there under the deinstall location. Okay, so we came to this location. Now we have to do is run this command called user SSH with no advance. Just copy this. So SSH user setup.sh file is there using the option -user grade host name, then no prompt password phrase, then confirm, then advanced. So we'll copy it because your username is not grid. We are using only Oracle for both the purposes. So basically I will modify this thing. Okay, so using this option, we'll paste this command in the rack one. U01 software deinstall. Okay. Oh, sorry, there is some problem that we need to modify because of this network is not auto connect mode. Because of that it is not able to reach. So we just started this networks. Later in future we'll be modifying it to permanently auto connect, so this problem will not reoccur. Okay, so at this point what we have to do is do the passwordless connectivity. So /ssh user setup.sh file is there. So using -user option, username, then host name is rack1 rack2, no prompt password phrase, confirm, advanced option. Okay, so it is just checking the node reachability. Once it is done, then it will ask for the passwords. So we have to provide Oracle password for rack 1. So I will provide the password for rack 1. Now it is asking me password for Oracle user on rack 2. So I provided password. Again it is asking for the password in reverse option. Okay. So it is creating the and updating all the required files. So now we'll check whether it is reaching to the node 2 or not. So you are able to connect to the node 1. Okay, now what I will do, I will reconnect to the node 1. So both the direction it is getting connected. Okay, that means you have just successfully created a passwordless configuration. So at this stage we are ready with this setup passwordless Ssh configuration. There is another method of doing the same thing using the mkdir option and chmod option. So we will use the utility which is provided by the Oracle, that is called Ssh User Setup.sh. So using that we have to just pass on the username and then it will automatically create the user. So if you have two different users like grid and Oracle, for both the users you have to do the same thing, but in our case we are using only a single user Oracle for both grid as well as rdbms purpose. So we'll be using Oracle option. Okay, next one, this is already done, so we don't have to recheck this again. Next one is cluster verification utility. So basically this is a pre-installation. We have to cross verify if every parameters and every thing is properly done or not. So this is called the pre-check before starting the actual installation. So at this stage we have running the run cluffy.sh stage hyphen pre crs inst. That means you are doing the CRS installation on hyphen n rack 1 rack 2 hyphen verbose. So it will cross check on both the nodes. Okay, so let's run this command and see what is the outcome. So you have to run this through the grid infrastructure software folder following this. So first of all we have to check whether it is available in the software directory. It is there. Default Oracle inventory group could not be determined. Okay, this is ignorable. Just wait for a second. It will go for further checks. Once it is finished, then we can go with actual installation steps for grid software. That will be our next target. So summarize what we have done till now is we have created two separate nodes, node 1, node 2, which is named as rack 1, rack 2. Okay, and then we have done the prerequisites. We have created a shared storage. Okay, shared disk is also done. Then we have created passwordless configuration between the nodes, and now we are running the Cluffy utility to cross check the pre-installation steps. Okay, once this is done, then we can go ahead with installation of great software. Then we'll do the rdbms software and then we'll create the database. Okay, so one at a time. So basically this is doing some pre-checks like node reachability, whether the users are available or not. So all these information are getting checked. So first of all, we'll verify from the top to end what are these values, what are missing, what is required. Okay, so available memory is little adequate, that we can ignore, nothing to worry. or we can increase the memory from the virtual box. If your laptop has sufficient memory, you can increase that part. Okay, the next one is, this is okay. Most of these parameters, like parameters as system values, these values kernel parameters, and most of the packages are all already in place, so these stages are passed. Okay, DBCA, these are okay. So there is one package called Fluffy CV disk, so we'll try to install this one, both the nodes. So basically we are not using the DNS, so because of that it is getting failed. IPv4 okay, let me check. Physical memory again, so missing points are highlighted over here, so we'll ignore these parts. Just I will do the one thing, installed missing binaries to avoid any no such packages. Okay, this is not there, so ignore this one. Let's see how it goes. So now we'll log into actual to the server. Okay, and then we'll initiate the installation process. 1 second, we have to just modify the bash profile. There is some space issue. Next. User. Okay, so we are good to go. Okay, clear the screen. Now we'll see what we have to do is next. So basically we have to run su-xhost. Okay, xhost plus this is done. su-oracle. Now from the grid user, U01 software. Okay, now we have to go to the, basically we have to export the display so that your graphics will be okay. If you're doing remotely using the cookie, then you have to do this. Now we'll go to the software and check grid setup.sh, where it is there. We'll run the grid setup.sh. So this will be my actual grid software installation. So we have two nodes, rack 1, rack 2. We have done the prerequisites. We completed all the prerequisites, OS as well as user creation, and everything has been already done. So now we are running the grid setup.sh file from the unzipped software location that we have downloaded. This is Oracle 19.c 19c software. Okay, so now we have to do or configure Oracle grid infrastructure for new cluster. Just click on this one. We'll follow the instruction. Okay, once it is launched, select the configure new cluster option and then click next button. New cluster option and next button. Okay, for the standalone cluster, configure an Oracle standalone cluster. So there will be multiple options, so you can choose either of them, but as we are doing the general purpose installation. So we'll be choosing the configure an Oracle standalone cluster. Okay, click next. Here you have to provide the scan name and cluster name. So what we have to provide here is cluster name as a rack cluster, which is already there. Then scan name as a rack scan, since it is there in the file. Okay, so we are not configuring GNS, so we'll skip that one. Click on next. The very next page, it will ask me so here we have to add the node 2 information as well. So it will be your public host name will be rack 2 dot local domain, and virtual host name will be rack 2 dot vip sorry rack 2 hyphen vip dot local domain. Okay, just click on OK, and the very next page you have to run the SSH connectivity. OS user will be Oracle. You have to pass on the password and click on the test. Sorry. Okay, so basically the naming that we have given is wrong, so I need to edit it again. Local domain before .com. Okay, now we have to just click on test. It is just checking the passwordless SSH connectivity between the nodes. It will take us several minutes, and once it is completed, it will go to the next page. Okay, so this is successfully completed. Click OK, click on next option. This is done. Check the public and private network on a specified cluster. So here it is already selected public and private IPs. So we'll just click on the next, and these two will be not in used. Okay. Using the Oracle Flex ASM for the storage. So on the next page, create grid infrastructure management repository. So we'll mostly ignore this one. Click on the default option only. Click next. So next you have to find the disk that is available for OCR and outing disk. Okay, so we'll check the path, but it is choosing the default Oracle path. So we'll modify the path. Click on OK. So our disk 1 is available now, 10 GB. So we'll give the name it as, sorry, we have to give the naming convention to this one. We'll provide the name as OCR voting disk. Use redundancy as external. Then click on OCR disk. Okay, this will be your OCR disk group. It's a external redundancy. So this is our disk one. We'll click on next. Use the same password. I'm just choosing the simplest one. It will give me the warning, so I will click on yes. Do not use the intelligent platform management interface. This is the default option, so we'll select that one only. We'll don't create the enterprise manager as of now. Next one is just select the default for all these operations. So basically you have to select the group. So I'm just choosing the install as a default group. Okay, just click yes. Next, what will be your Oracle base? So our Oracle base will be this path only. Click next. So it is reading from the environment variable that we have given. Then this will be your Oracle inventory, central inventory that will be used. Okay. So we'll not use the automatically running the configuration script. So at the end, there is two scripts that we need to run on both the nodes. So we'll not run using automatically option. We'll manually run them and see the outcomes. Okay. So we are clicking on just next option. Now it will check all the parameters and it will summarize everything. Then it will start the installation. So this is step number 16. It is doing the checks. Okay, let it finish, then we'll move further. So at this stage, all the pre-checks are done. So most of them we can ignore. So resolve.conf. So basically we are not using the DNS option. If you are in any corporate or so if your organization having a network administrator, they will be configuring these DNS changes. So as of now, I am not using the DNS. So basically we are using the IP based configuration. So I will be ignoring this one, and there is one package, it is also ignorable, just it is giving the status as a warning. Okay, so what I will do, I will just select all, click on ignore. Okay, and click on the next option. Okay, so all this is the summary, and now I will click on the install. So it will start the actual installation process. You can check the detail on this detail box. So there will be multiple stages. So basically it is preparing, copying, and then it will do the same thing on the remote location also. So there are multiple stages are there. So on the first it will create on the local node, then later it will copy files on the remote host, and then the configuring the remote nodes also. So in our case we have only two nodes, so the configuration will be done only two nodes. So let it finish, then we'll discuss further. Okay. Meanwhile, I will be requesting all my friends whoever is watching this video, if you're liking the video, please click on like button and try to share most of the people so that they can also take the benefit. If you are having any doubts, you can click you can ping me on the comment box, so I will definitely try to help you out. I will provide my email also. You can reach me on email also. So if you are new to my channel, just be sure to subscribe my channel so that you can keep on getting all the updates, and hope you are enjoying my videos. I'm trying my best to deliver these sessions so that everyone can take the benefit. I guess this is a 19C version that is most demanded current scenario. So I'm trying to help you out, you guys. So we are basically doing the 19C installation on Oracle Linux 7.8 version. So this is a great software installation that is going on. Once this is over, then we'll do the rdbms installation, and then we'll create the database, and then we'll do the administrator part one. Okay, so basically we have at the beginning of this course, I have just walked you through the basic architecture of Oracle, and then we have gone through uh, Oracle Linux software installation on virtual machine. Then we have created a node cloning, and then later now we have completed the pre-checks for the rack installation. Now at this stage we are actually installing the great software. Once it is done, then we'll go with the rdbms software installation, and then further we'll create the database and those things. Okay, so I hope you are enjoying this video. So as you can see, the remote process is also going on. So guys, at this stage, it is asking me to run the two scripts on both the nodes. So basically we'll be running this first script on rack 1, then rack 2, then we'll run this root script on rack 1 and rack 2. So one by one. Okay, so we'll copy this file location and go to the terminal. Using the root user, we have to run this. Just paste it out, click on run, so it will change the permission. Similarly, we have to go to the node 2 also. So from this location only I will run sh/ what is the path? Let me just cross check. App 01 app for inventory 001 / app for inventory, then root.sh. Okay, this is just, let me re-verify the name. Yeah, it is the same name. So we'll run on the node 2 also. Okay, so it is executed and it has changed certain permissions. Now U01 software, this path we have to copy. Node 1 first we have to run. Enter. Now it will do certain changes, relinking of Oracle with rack on option. Okay, once it is completed on node 1, then we'll click on node 2, then click OK and move further. So basically it is creating Aura type entry, and using the configuration param file it is doing certain changes. Okay, let it finish, then we'll discuss further. We can see there are multiple steps are there, so total 19 steps are there. It is going through each of the steps. Okay, step 1, step 2, step 3, and it will complete after 19 steps. Okay, so once these 19 steps are completed on node 1, then we will run this script on node 2 also. Okay, then installation move further. I think in 19C version, this installation is very smooth. You don't have to worry any step. So now we have reached till step number 13. It is doing install ADF. Before that, it has installed entries for the Oracle availability services. Now it is installing ACFS. So there are total 19 steps. Once it is finished, then we'll do one same thing on the node track 2, that is our node 2. If there are multiple nodes like the node 3, node 4, you have to run on each of the nodes. Okay. In the description link, I will be providing you all the details, like from where you have to download these softwares, and what are the other content that you need to refer, what was the previous video that was there. So I will be providing all these details in the description box, so make sure you will go through the description. And also I will be recommending you guys to join my Facebook page if you haven't joined yet. There is similar page on Facebook where most of the people put their like their doubts and their questions, so I will try to help them out over there also. So get connected and keep learning. These are the very simplest thing you can learn, and most importantly, I will be requesting you all that you make sure you try from your own on your laptop or your systems, so that you will be able to understand how actual thing goes. Okay, and by watching my videos, you just keep try, and at the end you will be successful. Okay, so don't skip anything. You can watch it multiple times, and definitely you will be able to do the installation as well understanding of Oracle 19c software installation by your own. So these are very simplest thing you can do, and make sure you watch entire video so that you will be able to understand it easily, and you don't have to worry. I explained everything bit by bit, and you can very easily understand these things. Okay, it is almost step number 16. Okay, let it finish, then we'll run the same thing on the node 2 also. It will take little bit more time. Let it finish. You can see ASM has been created and started successfully, and test group is also created successfully. Now it is running the further commands. Meanwhile, you can cross check whether the instance is up or not. Let me check whether this ASM instance is up or not. PS-E upgrade pmon. So you can see your ASM instance is up. Okay. Similarly, you can check the grid binaries whether all the CRS processes are started or not. Sorry, grid.d.b. So you can see that this one U01 software bin. So from this location, the binaries are getting started. Okay. Go to the prompt, this location. So guys, this root.sh is completed on node 1. Okay, this succeeded by completing the total 19 steps that we had. Okay, and now we need to run the same thing on the node 2. So I just came to this location on the rack 2, that is node 2 for us, and from the root user we have to run this script. So it will again change the permission for this thing, and it will start a process on the node 2 also. Okay, let it finish, then we'll see how it goes. So most likely after finishing the same thing on the node 2, the installation process will be over, and our grid infrastructure installation will be completed. So after completion of this, we click on OK, and wait a second. Once it is completed on the node 2, this is script execution. Once it is finished, we'll click on OK. So most of these steps will be completed and it will be executed as 100% successful. Then we'll click on close. So this will be your grid installation process. So this is how you can do the grid installation by your own and create 2-node rack grid infrastructure. Okay, so this is our grid software that will be installed. After that, we will be doing the rdbms software installation, and then at the end we will be doing the database creation. So one at a time, let the root.sh finished on rack 2. Rack 1 it is already finished. Okay, so these steps are getting executed, step 1, step 2, step 3, like that. So most of the steps are very faster, except for step 18, 17. Those steps takes little bit time because of ASM instance creation, and some of the service startup process goes through those steps. Okay, so till now total 12 steps are already completed. Let this process finish, then we'll move further. Okay, so almost 17 steps are already about to finish. Almost 17th step we are going through. So hardly it will take like 5 to 10 minutes. Once it is finished, then we'll look after next step. Okay. The installation process is little lengthier. It takes a bit of time. So this one-time process, you need to be little more patient, and it is actually a good learning scope. I will recommend everyone to do the installation by their own on their laptops. So let entire process finish, then we'll discuss further. So our total 19 steps is also completed on node 2 also. This succeeded. Okay, we can check whether the ASM instance is up and running or not. So it is up and running. Okay, so now we'll go to the installation prompt, and this is our step 2 is complete. This entire step is completed. Just click on OK. Wait for further process to get completed. It is updating the inventory. Now this process should not take much time. It is doing the further configuration steps. You can check the detail inside this detail box over here. So most of these steps are getting succeeded. As I said earlier also, that it is completely depending upon your hardware quality and your laptop or your machine quality. These steps will be little more faster in your laptop. It will completely depend upon your laptop or your machine quality. Okay. So almost 84% is completed. Let the entire process finish, then we'll check the rack configuration detail. So you can check whether there are multiple verification processes are going in the background. Once it is finished, then we can click OK and close this window. So most of these checks are getting passed. Just click on OK. This is ignorable. It is due to the DNS option that we have ignored in the initial phase. Because of that, it is failed, but it doesn't have any impact on our current configuration. So with this, our installation is completed. We just have to click on OK. Just wait. It is a little slower. Now we'll click on next option, and with this, our entire installation process is completed. Just click on close. Okay. Once this is done, you can cross verify entire cluster by logging to the grid user. So basically we are using a common user Oracle, but we will use a grid profile. So basically I need to go to the binary location. So I need to modify the path. Okay, I'm really sorry about this. Here you can run this command CRS check CRS. By using this command, you will verify your cluster is up and running or not, and then using the tabular format output stat resource -t. This command also you can fire and check all the resources and parameters, resource which are up and running in the tabular format. Okay, node by node, it will list out the details. CRS stat resource -t. This is the command. Okay. So basically my laptop is little slower now. So because of that, it is taking time to fetch the output. But in real production scenario, this output will be very fast. So here, this is the output of the entire clusterware stack. So it will give the resource name, what is its current target, and what is current state, and on which server it is running, and what is the state of this resources. Okay, so basically you can see, sorry, listener is running on both the nodes, rack 1, rack 2, then network related, ONS related, ASM instance related listeners are also up and running on both the nodes. It is stable state. Scan listeners are up and running. Okay, then OCR disk, this group is also online on both the nodes. ASM group is also there. So these are the resources that you need to check whether it is up and running online or offline, and it should be distributed across all the nodes. Okay, so with this we can say that our grid configuration has been successfully done. Using this command crctl check cluster -all, it will list out all the nodes and what is the current status of these nodes. Okay, so This cluster where is up and running on rack 1 as well as rack 2. Also, you can similarly run the command called srvctl config scan. So it will list out the scan listener information. So on which node, which one is running. Sorry, the naming convention is wrong. I need to modify the. Okay. srvctl config scan underscore listener. So it will give the information about the scan listener. What all scan listeners are up and running on, and on which node it is active. So those information will be come through the srvctl config scan underscore listener output file. What I will do now, I will stop these clusters, and for this I will be winding up this session. So till now what we have learned is we have created 2 separate nodes, and on each node we have configured the grid software, and our cluster where is up and running. We can we are able to check the status of CRS services, and now we are ready with grid clusterware. Now we'll do the rdbms software installation Oracle 19c in the next lecture. Okay. I will be requesting all my friends to subscribe my channel and keep supporting me, and do check the description link. There will be multiple links provided, like from the where you can download this software, and there is a Facebook page link also there. You can like our Facebook page and follow there also. And for the time being, I will be stopping this session here. But before going further, you can see the scan listener detail is also there. So now what I will do, I will stop this cluster where stack. Okay, on the both the nodes, I will go to the this thing. I will go to the binary location for the grid. From a root user, we have to stop the cluster where. Okay, d.bin. So we'll go to this path. Sorry, just copy this. F. Using this command, you will stop the clusterware. Similarly, for instance 1 also, we have to stop the clusterware. So at this stage, we are done with the grid installation. In the next upcoming lectures, we will do the rdbms software installation, and then we'll do the admin part. Okay. So I hope you are enjoying these lectures. Please like and share our videos, and if you haven't watched our previous videos, just check all my series, and keep watching, keep learning. Thank you once again for watching these videos. So now you can see your clusterware stack is down on node 2. You can verify using the command psrpnea-pmon or d.bin. You can using the TNS. So all the services are down. Okay. Now what I will do, init 0. So before doing this, I will be making a small change in the network file, so that in the future you don't have to worry about this thing. Connect automatically. Apply. Connect automatically. Apply. So that's it for today's session. I'm stopping this now. Keep watching. Wait for my next video. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye. Have a good day.